As the ocean still slumbers under a blanket of mist, the silent journey of white gold begins on these ancient mirrored coastal plains of the east. Before the first light touches the horizon, a profound silence hangs over the landscape, where the sea and the sky meet in a perfect, still reflection. Tiny droplets of morning dew cling to the weathered wooden tools, waiting for the hands of the workers to bring life back to the quiet fields. With quiet determination, the salt farmers step out into the cool morning air, their bare feet familiar with every inch of the damp and salty earth. The touch of the cold ground is a daily greeting, a reminder of the bond between the laborer and the land that sustains their humble way of life. The first rays of sunlight begin to pierce through the distance, painting the water in hues of gold and promising the heat necessary for nature's magic. In the distance, the faint smell of wood smoke drifts from a lonely kitchen, signaling that another long day of hard labor is finally about to commence. With a steady gaze, they watch the sun rise, knowing that the intensity of its heat will determine the success of their harvest by the day's end. The gates are opened, and the lifeblood of the ocean flows into the fields, beginning the arduous process of transformation from liquid brine to solid crystal. Preparing the foundation is critical, requiring immense physical strength to compress the earth until it becomes as hard and smooth as a sheet of steel. Every push of the roller is a testament to their endurance, ensuring that no impurities from the soil will ruin the purity of the coming salt. The earth is beaten and smoothed with rhythmic precision, a ritual passed down through generations to create the perfect stage for the sun's powerful work. As the sun climbs higher, the temperature rises, and the first beads of sweat begin to fall, mingling with the salt that permeates the very air. Their feet act as precision tools, feeling the texture of the mud to ensure every corner of the pond is sealed and ready for the tide. A thin layer of seawater now covers the prepared ground, spread evenly to catch the maximum amount of solar energy for the evaporation process ahead. Experience is the best teacher here, as the veterans know exactly how much water to let in, balancing the needs of the harvest with time. The labor is repetitive and exhausting, yet it must be done with care to maintain the integrity of the salt bed throughout the long drying period. Across the vast expanse, a symphony of movement unfolds as each worker plays their part in this traditional dance of human effort and natural elements. Under the blistering noon sun, the air begins to shimmer with heat haze, as the intense temperature starts to pull the moisture from the brine. The sun is both an ally and a fierce adversary, providing the energy needed for crystallization while testing the limits of those who work beneath it. Slowly, almost invisibly, the first crystals begin to emerge, tiny white specks that glitter like diamonds against the dark, concentrated liquid of the salt pan. Nature's chemistry is at work, as the molecules of salt bind together, forming a delicate white crust that covers the surface of the evaporating sea. Shielded only by a simple straw hat, the Diemdan stands guard, watching the water transform into solid treasure under the weight of the heat. The glare of the white fields is blinding, yet their eyes are keen, searching for the perfect moment when the salt is ready to be harvested. As the hours pass, the liquid vanishes into the atmosphere, leaving behind the essence of the ocean in the form of pure, brilliant white crystals. To touch these crystals is to touch the result of a day's worth of fire and brine, the tangible reward of a harsh, elemental struggle. The brown earth is now hidden beneath a blanket of white, a surreal snowy landscape born not from the cold, but from the searing tropical heat. Even the wind plays its part, carrying away the steam and cooling the crystals as they reach their final, hardened state before the collection begins. Now the harvest begins, as the workers use their long wooden rakes to gather the scattered crystals into neat, rhythmic lines across the white floor. The sound of the rake against the salt is the heartbeat of the field, a sharp, rhythmic crunch that signals the arrival of the year's harvest. Every movement is deliberate and practiced, a dance of efficiency that has remained unchanged for centuries in this corner of the world's coastlines. Small white pyramids begin to rise from the ground, standing as monuments to the grueling labor and the generosity of the sea and the sun. From above, the fields transform into a work of abstract art, where human geometry meets the chaotic beauty of nature's most essential, life-giving mineral. Despite the back-breaking work, a sense of pride and joy can be seen on their faces as they see the fruits of their heavy labor. Cooperation is key in the heat of the afternoon, as families and neighbors work side by side to ensure the harvest is collected before evening. The salt falls like liquid light, each grain a concentrated piece of ocean history, refined by the sun and gathered by the strength of human hands. There is no time for rest when the salt is ready. Every moment under the sun is a precious opportunity to secure their family's humble livelihood. The long rows of white mounds tell the story of the day's progress, a visual representation of the immense physical effort exerted since the dawn. The wooden blade bites deep into the salt, leaving a trail of labor in the white crust as the worker pulls the harvest toward the center. Their shadows stretch across the white ground, a constant companion in the field, marking the passing of another hard day in the life of salt. The skills are passed down from father to son, mother to daughter, ensuring that the ancient art of salt making survives in a modern world. Each grain of salt carries a hidden story, a silent witness to the salt of the earth, the sweat and tears of those who produce it. As the afternoon wanes, the field is transformed into a sea of white peaks, a breathtaking sight that belies the intense struggle required to create it. The most grueling task is yet to come, as the harvest must be carried by hand, basket by heavy basket, to the distant collection points. The bamboo pole groans and bends under the immense weight, echoing the strain on the bodies of those who bear this heavy, white burden. With expert balance, they navigate the narrow, slippery ridges of the ponds, their feet gripping the earth as they carry the heavy load of white gold. In a long, steady line, they move across the fields like a caravan of endurance, their silhouettes etched against the fading light of the dying sun. Every step is a battle against gravity, a test of will and physical strength that defines the lives of the people on these coastal plains. The rhythm of their breath is heavy and focused, a steady pace maintained to survive the long walk from the fields to the storage warehouses. With a final surge of effort, the baskets are emptied, and the salt is added to the great communal mounds that will soon eat a nation. The salt leaves its mark on their skin, a map of hard work and resilience, written in the cracks and calluses of their tired hands. A moment of rest is a rare luxury, a brief pause to hydrate before the final loads are moved under the darkening sky of the coast. The sky erupts in a final blaze of color, casting a majestic glow over the fields that have been the stage for so much human effort. As the light fades, the workers finally turn toward home, their shadows long and thin on the ground that will call them back tomorrow. The fields are left to the night, guarded by the silent white peaks that represent a day of life lived in harmony with the sea. In a single handful of salt lies the essence of the ocean, the power of the sun, and the unbreakable spirit of the human soul. This is the white gold of the coast, a simple mineral that carries the saltiness of the sea and the bitterness of a hard-earned life. As we look out over these vast fields, we are reminded of the incredible persistence required to turn the ocean's salt into our daily sustenance. The fields return to the silence of the sea, waiting for the sun to rise again and restart the eternal cycle of the salt harvest. Respect the hands that turn the brine into purity, and honor the endurance of those who find beauty in the harshest of nature's elements.